All right, welcome back. I'm going to try this one, but I'm going to be off camera just because of how and when I'm recording this, just to make it a little easier on me. But yeah, I think last time we got a few things done, right? We did 1, 2, and then we got all the way to the boss here, and then got wrecked. And then I was sort of starting to complain about the boss run, but I realized sort of after the fact that I forgot that we opened up a shortcut. Now, I don't know how much it's actually going to save, but there's a way to get up there, and I think it's that chain elevator right there. I just don't recall. Oh, maybe you unlock it down below, and then you go up all the way to the top. All right, so maybe that's a future shortcut. There's an item there that we've missed somehow, but let me, we've down some health. Let's sort of start this all over. If I can recall. Basically, we've unlocked this, and we should take advantage of it. So, yeah, I'm just going to reboot this. Going to get all of our health back or whatever. I don't know if I have any... I think there are the unknown whatevers. Got some. Let's see how many souls we can get out of it. That's not bad. That might even be like a level or two, but what I want to do is this guy's a shop, so let's see if there's anything he has that we want.
Here to make a deal.
Let's see. No, I mean, that could be useful. That could be useful, but not at the moment.
You want to play? You've got to pay.
But let's go take a look at this. Now, there's two ways, obviously, we can go. We're going to go here, and we're going to go down, because down is the other blacksmith that the one in the Nexus was talking about.
I haven't seen you around these parts. What does it matter? You need a blacksmith? Show me your steel. If not, head straight for the door.
Kind of looks and sounds like the other guy. I don't know. There's like some sibling rivalry that might exist. So let's start with that. Now let's start seeing what we can upgrade. Claymore we can do. Now the guy in the Nexus is not able to do the Crescent Falchion. This guy is, and the Falchion requires Moonshade Stone shards, of which we have 0. I guess he can also maybe break it down with a Meltstone. Yeah. So you can sort of revert something back to its original form, which is handy. Now this one we can keep pumping into. And I think at some point we can, here we go, change it into something else. Quality means it's going to be Dex Strength instead of, here you can see Strength D, Dex E, that's with the biceps and the hand. Here you make it DD, so it scales with both equally. Dragon Claymore is probably going to be fire. Yeah, fire. That's pretty good. Again, scales with strength, nothing else matters. And then crushing, just sort of makes it go all in on strength. So, and then you can sort of see on the side, you need like gray stone shards for this, dragon stone shards for that, clear stone shards for that. Hard stone, just after a while you're like, oh, okay, all right. So it's a lot. I'm just gonna keep. Nope. I'm gonna keep going. So let's look at the damage now. So now the Claymore is gonna do 147. The Crescent Falchion is gonna do 149. So we're getting close. But as soon as we start, and then the other problem is like, am I gonna switch to strength or do I keep dex and intelligence, which could be an interesting thing that I've never really done before. Can we upgrade this? Hardstones, yes, why not? Can we keep going? Probably not, because we're short 5 hardstones.
I'm busy. I'm not here to chit-chat. Forging a weapon strengthens it and alters its character. Ores are transmogrified spirits. Their presence blesses the weapon. All
Okay.
done. Then be gone.
Okay, I think that's what we were seeing from up there, but I don't know. Again, I'm gonna do this a lot. It's you know, graphics are getting better and better, obviously. Especially, I mean, if you're on PC, you're like, okay, whatever. But you know, for a console, this, you know, because when I first got the PS5, I did not have the best graphics card in the world. Oops, I wanted to get on that ledge and I screwed it up. Okay. So this was pretty stunning. Now my graphics card's a little better. Maybe not quite. I don't know what a GeForce 3080 does compared to a PlayStation 5. Alright, so I'm just going to stay on this until I loop around. Okay, yeah, so if you remember, Clearstone makes it like a quality, I think, strength dex. Now we're going to loop around again. So what I want to do is I want to take this to the top. Oh, that's how, okay. Apologies. Nope, I might actually die here. Perfect. This guy's just like, Jesus, what are you doing, man? Not sure where it's going to put my souls, actually. Oh, there they are. Okay. I'll just jump off. I don't know how many souls are there. Well, that means I lost the 4,000 souls. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Thought I had some moonstone shards. I don't recall, I guess. So, the question is, you know, it skipped us a bit of a way. Oh, yeah. So this is where there used to be flames when we turned the wheel. It turned it off so we could cut through. There was a ring there that I forgot. It's poison resistance, I think, so it's definitely worth getting. So now I'm curious what the run is like to the rest of the boss. Is it actually close? Or do we have to go around the whole thing with the dogs and the... Because this isn't too bad. Let him clear everything out here. Oop. Did I just die? Let's try going through a doorway for a third time. So, you know, I go into side topics when I'm doing this thing. Like, some of them are technical, and you know, I have the AverMedia. I was using the AverMedia RE Central 4. I'm actually trying this on OBS. OBS has, like, when you choose your recording options, one of the ones on the list is lossless. But it's not quite like if I were doing this on a Mac, I would have access to ProRes QuickTimes. I don't have that here, so I don't exactly know what lossless means on a PC. For my day job, you know, I deal with video codecs sometimes, and like ProRes high quality 422. No, it's not really a door. We'll use for putting on like broadcast TV. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, if I could record this on a Mac. But then, you know, YouTube's going to compress it down into garbage anyway, so I'm not sure if there's any point to that. But I'm just kind of curious how this goes. I will say, like, OBS definitely seems easier for OBS seems easier for like 2 sources. I'm not sure why I'm not locking on. So I've got this great shield that's gonna tank a lot of the fire damage, but I'm still not looking to. If I'm gonna tank the fire damage, I might as well get up in his face. Or just skip him entirely. Like, what am I doing? So there's a guy up there. He's gonna push a boulder. Okay, this boss run's not too bad. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm trying this on OBS. I'm trying this with, you know, I've mixed and matched different microphones. Right now I'm back on my SM7B. I did get a PodMic USB, the new one from Rode, which I like, and what I like about it is that it's right in the name. It's USB. You know, obviously I have a PlayStation 5. If I were using some kind of co-op communication on the PlayStation, I don't have a good microphone option. The PodMic USB, you know, you can plug in XLR to my audio device on the PC, and then I can plug the USB in simultaneously to PlayStation 5. You know, what was interesting though that I found out is that I could not use the XLR on the PodMic. Let me step back a sec. So I've got the XLR going into a Rodecaster Pro 2. So that's on the one side. That's my PC audio. That's what you're hearing now. The Rodecaster Pro 2 at the moment, it has extra USB ports that you could send over to the PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation 5 and the Rode, or I should say the Rode Procaster 2 at the moment, does not work as that kind of audio device with a PlayStation 5. The Lewitt Connect 6 does, and that's one of the reasons why I really like that, but it doesn't have faders, and there's a lot of other things it lacks. The Rode PodMic USB, you can plug into your audio device. For me, it would be the Procaster 2, and then you can plug it into the PlayStation 5 via USB at the same time. But if you turn on the PlayStation 5, the USB seems to take precedence over the XLR. So it's trying to be a microphone on the PlayStation 5 and not letting me. I'm wondering, can I hit it from here? No. So the web obviously slows you down. The reason why I was wondering about, because last time he dumped oil on the ground and I couldn't. Not sure why I'm not getting my shield up. Let me just hold up here for a second. Start this over. Okay. Oh, I see, because I'm trying to roll. It's putting my guard down. Okay. Not sure why it's not letting me stay locked on. Nope. See, instinct is to roll, and I gotta just tank it if I'm webbed. Am I hitting it? This is why I kind of like going in for melee. I used to be terrified of this monster going in for melee. I feel like I'm not making any progress here. But the instant he throws that oil at me, so what you're going to find with this game in particular, a lot of bosses get a lot easier with ranged, which is why some people think magic's sort of overpowered, instant win, whatever you want to call it. For some, the next boss in this game is considered the hardest. It's the Flame Lurker. And I've only ever fought him melee. I've never really done... Is this just restore FP? Yeah. But I'm curious to see how it is. And that's partly why I was like, oh, I'm doing the Claymore, but maybe I should really do Dexterity and Intelligence. Stick with magic, because it's going to make a couple of these bosses a lot easier. Namely, Flame Lurker. And this one. Well, others too, but the one I have the most trouble with is Flame Lurker. Well, you know, and there's there's one near the end of the third world that's tough. So obviously you're seeing there's enough cover from this pillar here that you can avoid getting hit. But I feel like I'm not hitting him. Not throwing the oil at me, and I don't know why. I don't know if there's something about this this range. But again, you're seeing why I wanted that purple flame shield, hopefully. So it looks like you can sort of, well, no, you put your shield down when you cast it. Right? So I used to really struggle with him because I would try and stay at range. Then I figured out that it wasn't actually that bad in melee. But then when I tried it last time, I got my butt kicked in melee, so I'm not sure what's the right. I'm sort of chipping away at him a lot better than I thought I would. So I feel like if I dump some points into intelligence, this isn't a... even the starting spell's not bad. There we go. It continues to be the instant win button, I guess. So yeah, it seems like you should be able to go... Can't check there out. Nothing there. But make sure you grab a couple things. There, you can see there's a lizard down the way. You don't want to go for it now. And the reason why is because if you screw up and you die, you're in human form. As you can see, my health bar is restored. And you don't want to shift the world tendencies. So, what I'm going to do is touch the Archstone. Head back. Maybe level up a little bit. The other thing beating a boss on a world does is it resets all the lizards, so it's a good way to do a little bit of farming, if that makes sense. So like a couple of the lizards that we ran into in 2.1 is now available again.
Thou seekest the power of the soul, no?
And there's one that's really close to the beginning, so I might go swipe those.
Inside me. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the
I say
lost,
intelligence. Well, it's really magic is what I'm looking for power. What's intelligence? Okay. Number of spells and...
So the world might be mended.
do a bump. Bump. All right.
Art thou finished? May thy strength help the world be mended.
So again, we're gonna repair a little bit.
Just bring me all the souls you can. In trade,
Maybe it doesn't look
I'll
the
give you
same.
weapons.
Maybe this guy. Well, maybe they look
Those
similar. The
ones
other guy's
you
got
already
glasses.
have.
This guy's got a beard.
With your souls, I can eke out a living.
Okay.
You come back alive. I need your business.
Nope. Gotta kill myself. I almost forgot to do that. Hopefully this is enough. Nope. Let's try that again. There we go. Again, it seems stupid and it makes you sort of wonder if this is really the design intentions when they were thinking of the game, when players are sort of just like, no, you know what, I'm not gonna participate in that, and came up with this, you know. But it's the, But I say all that assuming you don't want to have black tendency. Now, black tendency, I was mentioning in the first world, white tendency opens up an area. It also makes the level easier. Black tendency makes the level harder. There's extra enemies, but it gives you a lot more souls, and sometimes there's more equipment to be found, more stuff. So there's pros and cons to both. Yeah, one of the things that's one of the advantages to being off camera is that it seems like it's a dumb thing, but I can pause. Like if somebody needs to ask me something or something, I can sort of figure out ways to get around it. I gotta focus on him. Okay, now that that's gone, it doesn't matter what happens. That's not true. I need to at least pick this stuff up. I gotta be careful. Those things are gonna explode. I just don't know when. I think if I get near them, they start to do their thing. Okay, I did actually achieve my goal. I killed the lizard and collected the stones. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the first one really quickly. And get those. Yeah, there's all sorts of places to sort of hide, like chopping out a chunk of footage if I had to pause or mute and walk away or go to the bathroom. Dumb stuff like that. A lot of sharp stone. Okay. So that's not bad. So let's now try and do 2-2 in earnest. 2-2 for me is one of the more... Irritating is a strong word, but... Wait, is that still... Can I kill that thing again? Because if I can, I'm gonna... Is it there twice because I killed a boss? And I never killed it the first time? Or? Okay. Now the trick with this, one easiest way to do it is you just sort of get close and let it blow up and kill everybody. I don't know if it actually took anybody out or just made them angry, so maybe that failed. We'll say... These, oh, okay, it did damage that second guy. These pickaxes hit hard, so you got to be careful. But again, it's gonna start to grow. Anyway, so I was saying this is an irritating area. It's not always necessarily hard, but it feels long. And the boss at the end of it is one of the harder bosses. So... There's a lot to uncover. There's a lot to miss. And if you just run right past it, usually it's okay. So one thing I didn't know, like I knew like you could, the official's clothes, so we're sort of picking up stuff that's going to make our costume complete for a later level. What I didn't realize you could do though, and this is really good, is you can I select this and send to storage? So you can just go through you don't have to go back, which I thought you did. So this is great. This is so great. Maybe the Moonstone shards are in 4-1 where we picked up the Crescent Falchion. Falchion, I've heard a lot of people say Falcon. I don't know why I've always said Falchion. I don't know what's correct. The people saying Falcon were British, and maybe it's one of those aluminum kind of deals. I don't know. But I'm going to, like, I don't know if I need to lug a great club around. I don't need the pickaxe. Don't need this. Don't need this anymore. How's my weight? So you can see we've been able to drop down a good amount of weight. I don't know if it matters, but so I got slowly restore FP. Okay, these are the rings I'm sort of going to have to roll with most of the game, so that's fine. The other nice thing about the purple shield, it has the high flame resistance, obviously. It blocks 100% of physical damage, which is great. But it's kind of a larger shield, so it can keep you from getting staggered. I won't claim to know exactly how staggering works in any Souls game. I think there's things that are going to pop out of the ground. I don't know if it's from these dirt piles. Now, one good these things are actually pretty tough, but they are susceptible to magic, which again is why I'm feeling like maybe I should be doing a magic build for this. There I was able to hit it in its head while it was flailing around. That's why I sort of got that critical on it. Anyway, so yeah, PodMic USB, I really like it. I love that it can do both XLR and USB at the same time. It's interesting that the USB takes precedence over the XLR if both are potentially used at the same time. So if I were to use this on XLR for recording, I would have to unplug the USB. But I will say, aside from that, I really like it. It gets all, 6 of one, half dozen of another sometimes at some point with some of these mics. I mean, the SM7B is definitely it's a more expensive mic, I'll say that. But I will also say that, with the Lewitt Connect 6, with the Rodecaster Pro 2, they both have very powerful EQing on board, like DSP, digital signal processing. Hopefully this works. So, you can get them to sound kind of however you want to sound. And I will say also that the Rodecaster Pro 2 has like built-in settings for the pod mics, which are solid, so you don't have to do anything. The original pod mic, which I have and used, people have described as very bright, which means like the high-end parts of the sound are very present. The SM7B sounds very boomy. Did I live? All right. For a while, I really hated the SM7B kind of sound. Or it wasn't that I hated it. I just couldn't get it to sound. It was always like unbelievably boomy. Anyway, the point is, I thought the PodMic USB sounded darker, more bass heavy than the original, which might be a good thing for most people. It's got a really nice windscreen, which the original, I had one 3D printed, pop filter, windscreen, whatever you want to call it. The new one has a really great one. It's really nice. And anyway, the sound's really good. It's half the price of the SM7B, and you can get it to sound really good. It seemed to do a good job rejecting background noise, which is what the SM7B is great at, among other things. Like in one of these videos, I don't know if it was for this or my Elden Ring, it might have been this, the last one. I'm like, sorry, I'm moving my keyboard. But when I was, spot checking that moment to see how bad the sound was, like, I found it really difficult to hear the keyboard being moved. I think this guy's going to blow up. Oop. I guess not enough to take out. Anyway, so yeah, like, I would not hesitate to at least consider the Rode PodMic USB. Really well built. Really love the new pop filter. Works well. And good sound. Because that's the thing, at some point, like, what you're looking for is sound that is good enough, right? You want low self-noise, you want decent background rejection, and you don't want it to sound like it's... You want it to be clear. When I started having to do, it was the pandemic. And for one reason or another, basically I needed to, start, like a lot of people, start working full-time from home, which meant I was going to have to rely a lot more on Zoom, things like that. And so it sort of sent me down a rabbit hole of, like, the type of equipment that's out there and, does it really matter? And then you start to hear it and you're like, I don't know if it really matters, but I can hear the difference. Little things like that. Yeah, come here. I am loving how Magic takes these things out quickly. That's really good. So that's... If you know anything about Souls, you know that there's always a Patches, and I think this is Patches. The question is, you gotta be careful that he doesn't get blown up.
Ooh, you're not mad like the rest, are you? Wow, what jolly travelling companions are we, eh? Pleased to meet you. Call me Patches. Oh, see that treasure over there? Go on and take it. My gift to you, just to show that we're friends. Whew, I'm glad to meet you. These soul-starved imbeciles will drive you mad.
Okay, so if you know anything about Patches, you know that he always screws you the first time. So somehow he's like, get that item over there. Got that thing right there. Feels like a trap. So let's see what we can do. Anyway, so yeah, that's my Tight 5 on the Rodecaster, not the Rodecaster, the PodMic, Rode PodMic USB. I wonder if he can move, or is he stuck? Wonder if it's worth that, or do I get more swings? So my fear is that when this guy explodes, he's going to actually trigger Patches as hostile. And for as much of a jerk as Patches is in the lore, he's a shopkeeper and he might have some valuable stuff down the road. He ends up back at the Nexus like a lot of characters you run into. Alright, so when I kill this thing, I'm going to run that way. So let's switch back, just in case I screw up. So in the last video, I was kind of confused, like, why does it have damage over time? Is there some kind of magic thing going on, etc.? I think that's how this game handles bleed. I'm so used to Elden Ring at the moment that Elden Ring will... That was my fear. Nope, it didn't kill Patches, and hopefully he doesn't get too upset that his trap backfired on him. Anyway. Nope, he seems okay. Cool. I can live with that. So let's see what he says now that we've...
You? You're no joke, are you?
I love that he's covered in soot.
You? You're no joke, are you?
Now that looks like a shield that I think actually heals your hit points over time. So, you know, and I say like this level is annoying in some ways because like it's stunning. Like don't get me wrong, like it is stunning. Just like the rest of the game. And I like a lot of it. There's one part of it that always annoys me, and I don't know how optional it is, but I always feel compelled to do it because I feel compelled to cover every inch every time. So what I'm going to do is, and this isn't the hard part, there's a series of tunnels. All right, let me just go. Again, you always want to get these lizards. Almost to the detriment of like your own personal safety because of just how limited that resource is. Now, you know, there's ways to get that stuff on your way down, so I've sort of blown it a little bit. Oh, I'm seeing, there we go. So most of this level is fine. There's a series of tunnels which are irritating. And that's what I don't like. And I don't think they're actually all that required, you know. It's going to be things that pop up here somewhere. Boom, got it in the head. So, you know, that's lucky timing, but you see that if you're smart enough, you can time. You always, the animation when they pop up is almost always the same. So that opening is there if you're quick enough, or if your timing's good enough to. Of course, if you don't get it, just hit them 4 or 5 times. That's why, like, I wanted the Crescent Falchion so much, because I knew I was going to do this royal, and you can see just how much it can do. So this might be part of the tunnels that are really irritating. Or maybe this is heading towards the boss. Nope, it's the tunnels. The other irritating thing about this is that the boss run is a little bit annoying. It doesn't have to be long. It's just a little tricky. This is head. So if you're good at this, you can sort of get behind these things, and they can't turn around in the tunnels. And then they're defenseless in a sense, which just makes it a slog. I think this is where I came in. But this is what I mean, like, so let's try going up. And now I think or is this another one? Or you can get them to follow you around and then get behind them. It's really not interesting. It takes forever. And I think they respawn, maybe? Maybe the idea is you're not actually supposed to fight them. Maybe you're supposed to bait them, get behind them, go. So here we are behind it. I don't know if it has anything to do in the back. seems like it's doing something. So now I'm wondering if like this is doing decent damage because I think of the magic. I wonder if a blunt weapon, like if I kept the pickaxe. So I don't know which I like better, this sort of damage over time bleeding, which logically makes sense, or the all-at-once explosion of damage that Elden Ring. There's something very satisfying as a player to having it just explode and watch its health bar drop. There's a logic to this. I'm gonna... get around the corner and hope the bleed takes care of it. Yeah, maybe he was a little further from death than I thought. Anyway, so there's my this is a dumb thing about you gotta be careful, like stuff comes through the walls it shouldn't, but it clips. So even have your guard up even if you're around the corner, because it will irritatingly still kill you. That's one of those things that'll blow up, but it's on the other side. Yeah, so like, you know, part of this Demon Souls thing is you're gonna hopefully see the game, see what you think. I love playing it. I'll probably talk about it too much, but it will also be about like some tech stuff that I've sort of picked up over time with recording, both doing some of this stuff and, you know, in real life. Now, there's a lot of these in Elden. I don't know if there's a ton of... I don't know if there's a ton of hidden passages in this game. Wait, isn't that? Okay. So that's clear at least. That's pretty good. Don't know anything about it, but let's take a look. Okay, scales of strength, low scaling. It does fire and physical for 182. That's not bad at all. Might be more than this, but everything here is fire-based, so it seems like might not be the best option for this particular world, but maybe elsewhere. So this area is interesting. Like, I don't know. I assume the lava kills you. But there must be a way to get out there and grab those items. But then what ends up happening is, like, I have no idea how to get out of here. So even when I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm still doing it because I don't know how not to. Like, I don't know how to get there. Maybe getting there requires me to kill this guy. I was hoping to get behind him. I mean, there's probably a way to get behind him if I lure him out far enough. Oops, that's pretty hard hitting. Maybe you can't get past the... But, you know, just remember, there's like parts of that open lava platform area with patches that I still didn't grab everything. And then there's, you know, in that opening area where I was killing the lizard, you can go left or right. Left takes you past the mining carts that explode, but you can go right, and there's some stuff down there, and that's kind of the boss run. So you can actually, in all honesty, you can skip a lot of this level if you don't want to do it, and drop down to the boss. But in the meantime, I'm gonna... Oh, luckily I had my shield up. So another experiment, you know, this is getting back to tech audio stuff. Like the Rodecaster Pro 2, you know, has what's supposed to be very quiet preamps. So you're supposed to be able to plug in a microphone like the SM7B, which needs you to really crank it up. And you're good to go. Like they say, you don't need to put stuff in there to boost the signal. And they even claim that if you do boost the signal, you're making it worse. Okay, I need to get away from him, hoping... There we go. I'm actually trying this with a Fedhead signal booster just to see if I can tell any difference. Because I do feel like sometimes with the SM7B I'm hearing a little bit of that self-noisy kind of whatever. So... Oh crap, there's lizards back there. So you need to get behind them. And you're doing this before he turns around. So there's another lizard that I'm going to have to come back for at some point. Not really looking to deal with this guy. Now that that's done... Just trying to figure out, you know, if there's one gap that had an item on the other side, I wasn't able to figure out how to get there. Still trying to figure that out. This might be coming back to the beginning. Oh, 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 oh. Not quite. I don't remember what Greystone does. Chunks, you know, good. They're second tier. This is the bottom of the go right down the passage, I think, at the very beginning. So it looks like I came out there and then fell off or something. I guess I keep going up. Can I actually just go up the whole thing, or do you eventually actually drop down? I can't remember the other route. Mostly I just want to make sure I don't miss any. So I'm back in the tunnels, but I'm not exactly sure where, because I feel like I'm higher up than how I fell. But I get so turned around in the tunnels that I have no idea what I'm doing. But then again, maybe that's not, you know, that's where the lizards were, so maybe that's where I fell. Like, is the flame resistance ring enough to go for it? That's sort of the question. And then is it also like Elden Ring when it's just like a, you know, mushroom? Or is it actually something worthy of the time and effort to get it? I don't know. Anyway, the problem with this section is that it just sort of drags everything to a halt. Now, the other thing to consider, maybe there's some... I don't know what this does. Nope. Counteracts poison. Okay, spice that replenishes a lot of MP, but is there anything that just does a little MP? Now, one of the tricks is you have to be in human form to be able to summon, so you run the risk of like summoning help, but then getting killed and changing your world tendency. But here's the, you know, you leave your stone, and then also I think if you help somebody and succeed, you get your form back. I forget. There's some things here, but. So some of those mechanics are definitely in this game. In this game I can never really take advantage of them because the Great Axe, I think, in this game is a really good weapon. Alright, so I feel like we've sort of gotten back to where we came in. I feel like this is where I fell. Now, in truth, I don't know why I said in truth. If you go... I've got a lot of souls, so I'm not sure I want to do it right now, but I think if you go down here... That's the boss. I feel like I should take the crescent healing item off of my knee because it's not enough to fully restore it. It's almost like they're telling you, hey, like, turn back into a human and summon. But I'm not gonna, not with 10,300 souls. I feel like what the smart play is to, let's go to our equipment. Now I should have something. I have this, which will teleport us to the Nexus. I don't know. I don't believe we're going to lose our souls if I do that. And let's make this one that, and let's make this one that one. Okay, so that way at least you have both. But yeah, we're not dealing with the flame lurker now. So let's go level up. Because again, getting here is not hard, and we don't even want to be here yet because we missed half the stuff in the other parts. So oh, there's Patches. He's up there now. See if we can find the maiden. So the maiden is usually, yeah, but sometimes she like sits down or something, so it's hard to see her. But I do find something endearing about the way she just sort of sits here bored, waiting for you, playing with her feet.
Then touch the demon inside me. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
All right.
Art thou finished?
You know, actually, in that case, maybe what I'll
May
do
thy
is,
strength help the world be.
I mean, I'll just show it to you if you want to see what the flame lurker looks like. I don't know if this will be a serious run, but I don't barely have any soul, so who cares if I die? I think you do have to be a little careful and take care of these guys. And then part of this boss run that makes it annoying is you sort of, well, maybe you can get by him. I'm not seeing anybody with bags, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, dropping down. Oops. I missed my chance at that, but I'm sure there'll be other opportunities when I die. I feel like the fall damage in this is not atrocious, although I am nearly dead. So here's one place you want to come back to every time you kill a boss in this world. It's just like Christmas. Nice thing about a slashing weapon, you can hit both, hopefully. Alright, still got a ways to go. Oops. Thought I might die, but I didn't. Let's heal up. And you know what? Actually, let's call it here, and we'll take a look next time and go from there and figure it all out, and maybe finish the rest of 2 too. So thanks again, and take care.